Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and you may wonder what we're going to do with this. Well, I saw Gail Augustinelli, I think that's how she pronounces her last name. She was doing a correspondence journal. Now, and I asked her did she have a tutorial on doing her journal, and she said no, that she purchased hers somewhere on Etsy. Well, you know me, I like to make things, so I'm going to try to make me one because I get so much correspondence from you guys and so many letters and notes and just sweet little cards and things that I want to keep them in something instead of right now I've just got them in a box. So I'm going to keep them in something. So we had this, this was actually, I think, a package that came from one of you guys, and I just went ahead and cut it down. This is a priority mailing box, and let's see, I cut it, I can't remember how big it was, but well, I didn't cut it, I had my husband to cut it. From the spine right here over, it is 9 inches, do you believe? No, it is 8 inches, and then from top to bottom it's 10. So I had him to cut it so that it would make a journal that was 8 by 10. I thought that would do lots of cards and things, and plus it has this thick spine that I think I can put maybe 4 signatures in. And I've got lots of old, let me show you these. I've got a whole encyclopedia of these old art link letter encyclopedia things, and I thought I could use these for the pages, and just, you know, if I don't want any particular something on there, I could just cover it over, or I could leave it and just put a belly band on and tuck some things in. We'll decide on that later. Right now we just want to do the cover. So like I said, I had him to cut this down 10 inches this way, and then from the factory seam out it is 8 inches, so it's an 8 by 10. It'll make an 8 by 10 journal, and then the spine is 3 inches, so that's going to be quite a lot of room. I know it's not going to be enough for every one that I get, but it will hold quite a few. And I thought I would use this Tim Holtz paper. This is out of the memoranda stack, and I thought that was fitting. And then I would use this one because I get Happy Mail from all over, not just the United States. So I would use this map for my cover. Now, these are 12 by 12 sheets, so I really, let me think. I really just want to cover, okay. I have moved my camera up some so that you can see the whole entire process, because with it down so low, you couldn't see everything. Now, I want this cut just so that it'll go up to the spine part, and then I'm going to cover the spine with probably material. So I don't want to waste all my paper, so I'm going to cut this end off, and I am going to cut it, since this is 8, I'm going to cut it at 9 inches this way. So I'm going to cut it off right there. Ooh, that's going to cut right through the United States. Let me see. Well, I may cut a little bit off here and then cut the other way. We'll see. We'll see what we need to do. Let's cut just a little edge off right here. We're not going to cut any countries off that way. We're just cutting that little sliver off. And then this way, we'll cut it at 9. And we'll see what that gives us. We're still going to be cutting part of the US off, but I think that's going to work. I'll tell you what, I'm going to move it on over to right there. And I'm going to cut that off, and I can use that elsewhere. And then I'm going to turn it back this way, because I don't get anything from Russia in those places, so we can cut part of that off. Alright, and then I can still use that somewhere else. There we go. And then this being 12 is perfect. So, alright, then I think I'm going to cut this one the same way. I'm going to cut it off right. Make sure I get this pretty straight. Get it off right there. And then turn it around, and I'll put this at 9, and we'll cut this part off. No offense to Russia or anybody else, but I just don't get happy mail from them, so I don't really need any of that on there. Okay, so now we're going to put those on just like that. And like I said, I'll cover my spine with something else later on. So let me think a minute. This is fly by the seat of my pants making, so we will see what I can do. Now this is going to be the front, so we're going to put this one on here. That one will be the back. Okay, let me get a paintbrush. Alright, I'm going to try to use this big paintbrush. I don't know if it'll work or not. And I'm going to put something down to protect my surface because I don't want to get that glue all over it. So let me grab some tissue paper out of here. You can tell this has been well loved. I use it when I spray or when I glue, lots of different things. And then I put it in my journals when I finish with that. So we're going to slide that under there like that. And that's going to protect the surface. And then we're going to use our PVA glue. Now, I have a lot of people who ask me about the PVA glue. We do not have any more of it. I can't get it right now from our suppliers. So many places are out of it. So I don't know when it will be that we can get more in stock. But if I can find any through our Amazon store, I'll link that below. Hopefully I can, but no guarantees. So, but I love PVA glue when you're doing a book. Now mine has been sitting a little while, and so I may have to just open it up. I need to clean my little tube out here. Yeah, I need to clean all that out. Every so often you have to put this in hot water and clean it out. And I haven't done that in a little while, so that's why it stopped up. Okay, just put a good amount of PVA glue on. Make sure that you cover all the spaces and places. And my little cheap paintbrush is going to fall apart on me, looks like. But the one that I really like to use is really small, and it would have took me a while. So we're going to use this one. Now I always go a little bit overboard with my PVA. I don't think you have to put quite this much, but that's just my, I always do excess in glue. Just make sure it has a good coating. It's basically all you need to do. And then we're going to put this down right at that fold. And I'm just going to leave about an inch hanging off at the top and about an inch hanging off at the bottom. Well, that has already grabbed, so there's no moving that. No moving that. Hopefully I got it straight enough. Sorry about the noise. I've got things piled up. Just make sure you go around all of your edges and press those down really well. Like I left a little bit more at the top than I did at the bottom, but that's okay. It'll still work. Now, let's pull this off before it gets stuck real well. And we'll move this down here. And you could use old magazines, old books, whatever, to put under this. Just something to protect your surface. You don't want to get this PVA glue all over it. That's why I keep all my old magazines and things. I don't throw those out because you can use them for things like this. Excuse me. I am still having allergy problems. We have privet bushes that are blooming right now beside our house, and they absolutely kill me. I've been having to keep something to drink out here all morning. Okay, and we're going to put this one right here. I'm going to try to get that a little bit more even than I did the other one. Oops. See, it gives you just a little bit of wiggle room, but boy, if you don't get it in that first try, don't even try to straighten it up after that. Now just go around all your edges real well, and just pull your glue, pull your bone folder across it, and that flattens all your glue out to keep from having bubbles if you've missed any spots. Okay, now this is going to have a little bit, let me grab this. Okay, now this is going to have just a tiny bit of bow to it until this PVA glue dries. Once it dries, it's going to flatten out, but you could go ahead and put some books over the top of it to just make sure that it flattens well. I'm just going to leave mine sitting right here and right there and let it dry, and then we'll come back and we will work on the inside, putting the papers on. Okay, I have my old Tim Holtz mat up here, and that's what I'm going to use right now. I used up my tissue paper. Now this is not completely dry, but I want to go ahead and work on these corners and get those down. Now you can cut your corners off, you can fold them up, either one you want to do. I don't know, I'm going to try it. This paper is not quite as stiff as it, some papers are, so I think I'll just fold mine in. And what you need to do is just make that fold right at the edge of your chipboard there. So I think mine's going to be okay folded in. So I think that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to open that one back up, put some glue there. Okay. And then we're just going to fold that down, and then take your bone folder and really flatten that little crease out there. And let's do this one. Okay. There we go. So we got those. And now, let me think. No, I started to say I'm going to cut those at an angle, but I'm not, because when we fold those over, it's going to have plenty of room in between that little fold there. If yours is too close to your seam, then make sure that you trim them off a little bit at an angle so it doesn't give you any resistance whatsoever there. Woo. See, I pour out way too much. Let's put some over there. You do not need this much. PVA glue should last you a long time if you don't use it like I do. Okay, press that over. Just gonna get a little wipey, keep my hands cleaned up so I don't get it on the outside of the cover. And here again, I'm just going to use what I've got on my brush. Hopefully, don't think we're going to need any more. Yeah, that works right there. All right, let's see if we can put just a little bit here. Not much. That should work. Okay. Then you want to fold the end up. And I like to just make sure that I've got that folded really good up against that chipboard before I press it down. You want that nice and tight there. There we go. So we've got the back. That looks good. Now let's do the front part. And I'm going to wipe any of this off that I've got in excess on this mat because I don't want it to get on the outside of my cover. I'm going to put a little drop right there and a little drop right here. And I'm going to try my best to watch and make sure I stay in frame. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Hopefully this will give you some ideas, because I know a lot of you have asked me, do I know any ways to create a place where you could put cards and letters from people? And I've had lots of questions about that. So this is something that you could do. You don't have to be, you know, somebody who gets lots of Happy Mail like I do. Just your cards and letters. And I know a lot of you get Christmas cards and letters and thank you cards and all of that. This is a good place to put them. Okay. All right. Wipe that little bit off right there. I find if I clean up as I go, I don't have such a mess. That's the same way in my kitchen. If I clean up as I cook, I don't have such a mess when I finish. Does anybody else do that? Do you clean up as you cook, or do you just wait till the end and do it all at one time? I'm constantly washing dishes when I cook, and when my husband cooks, I'm constantly washing dishes. He doesn't like to clean up the dishes, so he cooks and I clean up the dishes. I'd rather clean up dishes as cook. Okay, we're getting there. And that's up quite a bit, so I'm going to put some over there. I have no idea why I just put glue on top of that. I didn't really need to. So let's fold that around. Okay, we'll go here. And I may need just a drop or two more. Let's see if we can get this that's around here that I've let flow out. There we go. I'll get the rest of that off of the top of that bottle. Just put it down through there. Okay. And then here again, we're going to make sure that we press that up really well. This is a good thickness of paper to do this with. You don't want anything that's real thick because it won't fold right. But this folds just right. Okay, so there are our corners. That looks good, doesn't it? I think. That's the front. And then there's the back. And this bowing, like I said, the little bowing will go out when everything dries well. You won't have the bowing if you don't put as much glue on as I do. Okay, there we go. Now, I think I'm going to see what paper I want to use on the inside. So let's look at that. We can go ahead and put our inside paper on. And I think on the inside right here, I'm going to use a piece of this material that I just got in some Happy Mail. This is a nice thick material. I'm trying to see about how big I want to cut it. Maybe this will tear. I don't know. Don't think it's going to tear. Not that way anyway. Well, maybe. I don't know if this is good for me. Okay, I can't tear it, so I'm going to cut it. I'll probably cut it very crooked, but it'll be fine. We'll straighten it up. That's a tough material. Oh, look how crooked I did it. Okay. We can straighten it up maybe like this. It may have to stay a little crooked because I'm still not too confident in cutting with my right hand yet. Still a little shaky there. But we'll get it as best we can and then we'll go from there. No rule that says it has to be perfect. That will work right there. Now that end looks pretty straight, so I'm going to cut this one down here. Oops. And somebody can tell me in the comments what type material this is. I can't for the life of me think. I want to say muslin, but I don't know. Muslin, I can't even talk. Okay, that looks like it'll cover the spine on the inside. And then I think we're going to put this down first, and then we'll put our paper on top of it, the paper that we're going to cover here. This will just reinforce the spine. We want it to be nice and reinforced so that we can put all of those cards and letters and things in and we don't have to worry about it falling apart. Stitch the signatures in and this will give it extra strength. Okay, see what that does. And you can just kind of center it up. It doesn't have to, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because this is going to be covered up, your edges. And then any excess that you have that you want to trim off, you can trim that off. I think I'll leave mine as is. It's stuck down really well now. I'll trim the ends off, but I won't trim the other part off. And I might put a piece of this on the outside too. Let me think. Yeah, we might just do that. Let's see if we want to. See how well I might can cut another piece. Probably not very well. Probably about as well as I cut that first one. Alright, I'm just going to fold it over like that and then cut it. And I can always straighten it up a little bit later if I need to. Oh, looks like I did get it just wide enough. Man, that was close. I was thinking I might not have it wide enough. It's all a guessing game here. I don't measure. Okay, that's raveling there, and that's okay. I don't mind that. Take that off. All right. So let's put that one down right there. Just like that. Now, since this one has got that little piece right there that's a little bit raised, you know, where the box goes together, that was like the box end. I'm going to make sure I get lots of glue down in there so that, number one, it holds the box together, but it also holds our paper. Ooh, I went a little wild there. Not our paper, but our material. So let's take this and wipe a little bit of that off. I don't think we need that quite that far out. Okay. I don't think it matters what side, so we're just going to do it this way. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot, but I'm concentrating. Oops. There we go. Just pressing that down in that little crease there. This material stretches just a little bit, which is fine, but just be careful if you're putting something like this down. And if you didn't want it to stretch, then you know you might not want to rub over it real hard because it does stretch just a tiny bit. I'm going to take those off and I'm just going to cut them. And then I'm going to take this little towel, and this is just an alcohol wipe, and I'm just wiping off that excess glue that I got on there. It doesn't really matter because it's going to dry clear, and I'm going to put probably a protective seal over it anyway, but just for now we'll do that. And when this dries really, really well, I will come back and trim these ends off. Right now I'm not going to worry about it, but that is stuck really good. I like that. Now, which side was the front? This side. No, that's upside down. This side. This is the front, so that's good. I don't mind having those little pieces hanging there. And we may come back on this front side and put some lace there too. This is just to reinforce everything. All right, I'm gonna make sure I've got it the right way up. And I do. And so we're gonna put some paper on the inside now. And let's grab our Tim Holtz paper out again. We'll see what we want to put on the inside. I love this paper, and I love how it smells. You know, we may use this green on the inside. I like that. I like both sides of it, though. That's the problem. Good thing we've got more than one sheet. Let's see. Oh, that would be pretty on the inside. That would be pretty. Let's see if we have another sheet of that. I may not have another because I may have already used it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Right. I'm going to put that right there, all the way to the edge, except about 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch is what you need to make sure that you put it on. Put it up that far. So I'm just going to mark mine with a pencil, and that's where I'm going to cut it off. And then here you want to go just right on top of that material. Just don't go over your score line. I'm just kind of looking under there to see where my score line is. Hopefully that doesn't go to my score line. No, my score line's way up there. Okay, I think I can go a little bit further. Yeah. We can put it, so there's my score line, so we can put it all the way up to here, like that. So that's where we're going to cut it off. And then right here. Those will make good belly bands, so don't throw any of that away. Let's see if that works. Yes, that works good right there. All right, then we're going to measure this one. And I don't cut the both from the same measurement because I have been known to put things on a little bit crooked when I do that. So I just measure it again right there, and then I'm going to cut it off right. Ooh, not that far up, right there. Remember, cut a little bit big because you can always cut down, but you can't put back on. So, okay, let's find my mark. There it is. And then we'll find our mark over here, and it looks like it's right there. Okay. So let's see about that. If that's going to be too big or just right. Okay, there's my score line. Don't want that to come in it. I'm going to trim this off just a tiny bit because it's real close to that score line and I don't want it to come up into it to hinder it any. So I'm going to trim that off just a little bit. Maybe 1/8 of an inch, something like that. Just that much. Yeah, that works better, much, much better. Let's see on this side if we're good. Yeah, we're good here. All right, now I'm going to ink these, and I think I'm just going to use my vintage photo. I thought about inking it with a green ink, but I think I'm just going to use vintage photo. I happen to like that ink, and since most of his pieces are distressed, that's what we're going to use on this. So I'm going to ink it, and we'll come right back and we'll glue these down. Okay, we've got those inked, so we're going to go ahead and glue those down just like that. So we're going to use a little bit more of our glue, and wherever our brush might be. Okay, so make sure I got the right way up. Yeah. So we'll put that right there. Press that down all the way around. Make sure that your edges are pressed down really well. Okay. Now I'm going to take my little alcohol wipe and I'm going to go around the gonna go around the edges just to keep from having any glue on the edge there. Okay, so that one's glued down. Now we're going to glue this one down. Now when you're gluing over the material, just make sure that you put a pretty good amount of glue there, because gluing paper to material is not quite the same as gluing paper to paper when you're using PVA glue. It glues well, but it just needs that little extra nudge. Now I'm probably going to stitch around mine, so I'm not real worried about the very edges, but if you're not going to stitch, then just make sure that you go all the way to the edge with your glue. I need a little bit more right here on that material. Probably not quite that much, but it'll soak in, so it'll be fine. Okay, now let's put this one down. There we go. Take your bone folder again, and you're going to work that glue out and make sure that it goes all the way to the edges, pressing everything down so you don't have any air bubbles. Okay, so there we go. Take our towel again, and I got a little bit of excess right there, so we're just going to wipe that off. And there we go. We've got the outside of our little journal and the inside covered. I like that so far. Now see how neat that looks now that you've got your material down and then you put your paper on top. Now on the outside, what we'll do is come back and put some lace over this, so that will make that a little bit prettier. Even though I love the material like that, that doesn't bother me that it's a little crooked here and there. I don't worry about that part, but I like the thoughts of putting some lace on there, especially some lace that one of you guys sent me. Okay, I've got a little bit of excess of glue right there, so but I'm just going to leave it, because we're probably going to go over this with some Collage Podge just to make sure that the cover is nice and protected. All right, I think that's all that we're going to do today, simply because I need to find all of my page inserts and my signatures, all that kind of stuff that I'm going to be using in here, and that's going to take me a little while. So I need to do all of that, and then we'll come back probably Monday or Tuesday, and we'll do a little bit more on it. So if you want to go ahead and get yours to this point, if you want to make one, then you can be right in line with us and you can follow us along. Now if you don't have one of these boxes, you can use any kind of box. Just find some kind of box around the house that works well, that's the size that you want. You don't have to have the same size that I do. You can use any size, and grab it, cut it like you want it, and you're ready to go. Alright guys, that is it. I'm just closing my glue up right now because it's been open for a while and I don't like to leave it sitting too long. That's my problem with it now. I've left it sitting too long and haven't cleaned it good. But that is it for this video. We will come back and we'll do more next week, and we'll probably finish it up, and then we'll be able to start putting some of your correspondence in it that you have sent us, because I've got a whole box over there of cards and letters and notes and different things that we needed a place to put. And when I saw Gail do that correspondence journal, I thought that's perfect. That is it. That's what we're going to do. All right, we will talk to you guys later. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.